So I picked 8 women, hand selected 8 women out of the Raw roster that I could see being the first ever women's Intercontinental champion. That being Shayna Baszler, Natalya, Zeina Vega, Ivy Nile, Sonya Deville, Lyra Valkyria, Kairi Sane, and Dakota Kai. That being 8 women that I handpicked. And honestly, those are the only 8 women that I see that are viable to be Intercontinental Women's Champion for the first time. Now, as to who I would choose to be the first ever champion, the inaugural champion, I would have to go with Natalya. The reason I'm going with Natalya is because this woman is the longest tenured woman in the WWE right now. This woman has been getting underhanded, undercut, has been underutilized for a long, long time. It's a shame when Natalya, she's been here for about close to 20 years, and she's only won the Divas Championship one time, and she was only a SmackDown Women's Champion one time for a couple of months. And then she was tag team champions for a couple months too. But that's sad, man. You've been here a long time, and this woman cannot even get a decent women's title reign. Natalya, people seem to, want to sleep on, is one of the best women's wrestlers there is. From a technicality standpoint, she is very good inside that squared circle, which is why I think she would be a perfect inaugural Intercontinental Women's Champion. Okay? Her uncle, Bret the Hitman Hart, was a fantastic Intercontinental Champion alongside Owen Hart. So that family lineage of the Intercontinental Championship and the Hart family, it's very prestigious. So what better way to kind of continue that lineage by putting that title on a Hart family member in Natalya, being the first female to become Intercontinental Women's Champion. Listen, there's a lot of women on this roster on the Raw brand that would be a great pick to be the first Intercontinental Women's Champion. Another name comes to mind is Dakota Kai. Now, it would seem that Dakota Kai would be assumed as the first ever champion, like she would be built up. And I know a lot of people want to see Dakota Kai get her big break. I do too. I just don't think it's right now. I think she will at least eliminate somebody in the tournament and then she'll lose the semifinals, right? I think she'll make it to the semifinals. That's about it. But Ivy Nile, I think she has a good chance of winning the tournament. She's aligned herself with Chad Gable, American made, and she's a decent enough worker inside the ring, very competent. And from a technicality standpoint, she's pretty good. And the only problem that I'm seeing with Ivy Nile is that she's not picking up enough wins. Okay. In order for me to look at her as a first ever Intercontinental Women's Champion, I'm going to see her pick up some wins, you know? But she would be a good choice. Now, the question is, would Lyra Valkyria be a good choice? No, because I think she's another one that has to take a back seat, right? I would actually put Ivy Nile in front of her when it comes to that title contention, who I would make as the first champion. Lyra Valkyria got to take a back seat. She'll have for a moment, later down the line, you know. But I think with this lady, she got to pay more dues, right? And another one is Zelina Vega. And I know some people are going to be rooting for Zelina Vega to win it, right? And it would make sense for Zelina to hold that title, to be the first woman to hold that title, right? Because she would be considered the underdog, the Rey Mysterio of the women's division, right? But I think she is another one that has to take a back seat, like Dakota Kai and Lyra Valkyria. Okay. Another pick I have is Kairi Sane. Now, out of all the 8 women, Kairi Sane is probably my least favorite to win a tournament, or see being able to see her win that title. Okay, out of all the 8 women, Kairi Sane is the least one that I would want to see win that title. Why? Because she just hasn't really been getting it done in the ring. And when I see her work, it's like she's very soft and she's not fully laying in her shots in the ring, and just kind of inconsistent overall when it comes to Kairi Sane. I think she's meant to be a tag team wrestler, a tag team champion, and that is really her ceiling at the end of the day with Asuka. Now, okay, let's look at Shayna Baszler. Now, I think Shayna Baszler would be a great pick to be a women's Intercontinental champion, considering that she's part of a faction, and Zoe Stark and Sonya Deville, they would make sure that that title stays on her for a long time. And Triple H being the booker, he would definitely book Shayna Baszler to be identical to what she was in NXT as the women's champion in that yellow and that gold and black brand, right? I would definitely see her being a dominant champion and holding on to that title for a very, very long time. Now let's move on to Sonya Deville, and I think I've basically covered all 8 women. Now Sonya Deville, I think she's above Shayna Baszler in terms of being the favorite to win, and it would actually make a lot of sense because if you look at Pure Fusion Collection, she is the leader of that group. So Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, they would be like the bodyguards protecting the champion, making sure that she defends the title successfully, helping her to win, and cheating for her to win. Right? So Sonya would make a better outcome to be the first ever women's Intercontinental champion. But overall, I have to go with the veteran Natalya. She's been here the longest. She's paid her dues the most, and she's taken a lot of crap for a very, very long time. And I think that it just looks good for her family lineage, the Hart family, the Hart dynasty, for her to be the first female women's Intercontinental champion.